Welcome guys to a new deck buff on the channel. Today we're going to go over my top 8 deck buff for Thegrea of course, and I also got 9th place. Now this was all during the BRO tournament. Of really happy for the results. Unfortunately I got 9th place in AO because that was the only top 8 I could actually, and because the thing is I really wanted to play my shop challenge the day after that, so that was during the top 8 of course. And I decided to drop out of EU to play into the shop challenges of course, because we will be playing all formats in Spain. And I have managed to get 2 buy cards because of that. Really happy. But the funny thing is, the 9th place person that got into top 8 because of me actually managed to get 1st place with Brilon, which is really funny, and that's just the way it is. That's the real story behind it. The reason why I chose to attend my shop challenge instead of top 8 is really weird for some people, but the thing is, I really want to get higher in BCS than I want to get higher in BRO, and also for the fact that I really like in real life play far more than I can play of course. When I have to decide which one I want to go to, it's most likely be my shop challenge, which I attended, and also 1st place. So for that one we will be going into it. First of all, why I chose Thegrea. I really like Thegrea for its playstyle because it really reminds me of the back in the day when we played the Blessed Blade Exceed. I played that deck a lot back in the day. I wanted to play this deck because of that. Also this deck is very tanky in comparison to the guys that play. The Blessed Blade Exceed was just a full aggro deck. This is a far more tanky deck that can also rush in the early game. I really like it for that playstyle, but we're just going over the deck buff. Enjoy it. So we will first going over the white line. You of course have the grade 0 Thegrea, then we have the grade 1, the 2 and the 3, so nothing really special. The only thing you can debate here is whether you want to start with this Thegrea or you want to start with the black Thegrea, because this deck revolves around persona writing every single turn, and you only gain skill, powerful skills when you have persona road. And the thing is, you really want to persona write into each other, so you want from the white Thegrea to the black Thegrea, from the black Thegrea to the white, and you want to keep that process going, because the thing is, your skills only activate when you vote different Thegrea. So that's the thing. I decided to do it like this, so I persona write into this one first because I like her skill more. It's my first persona write target, so that's the real thing. For the white line itself, I think it's actually pretty mediocre. It's pretty bad in my opinion. This call is not secured. Either if you get a trigger, it's not always good that you get a trigger, because you're about to go counter blitz, so you see a front in the top deck, and you don't have a rush hand or something there's so much stuff that can go wrong with this already. The real reason why you play this white line is mostly because of grade 2, because the thing is, you want to search out of the top 5 a Thegrea or a Maple, and getting one of the, if you miss one out of the 2, really bricky, and you really want to hit at the consistency. So for this white line you can go +2 in theory, because +1 of this on board, +1 of this, but most of the time I either break one of 2 or break both of them. It's not all that good, but you really want to hit that consistency, and other white lanes that are generic don't really give you that offer. Then we of course have this Thegrea, which already fused the board when you hit grade 3. Really nice to have, because I really like to rush my opponent early game, put a lot of grade 2s on the field. It will snipe them away, or I have to snipe them away, and then I can repopulate the field with, of course, Thegrea. So really nice to have, and that's the entire thing about this white line and how I play it. Also, finished story actually. I played this deck at my locals one day, and that's when I decided I want to play this deck. Oh, the thing is, we played locals and we got a participation pack, and I just got one pack of DPTO, just as participation, and I pulled this. So it was confirming me that I really want to play this deck. It was just funny, and I decided to play it. Then we go over the other persona write targets. Is of course the black Thegrea. Really like her, of course. It's essentially the reasonable vanguard. It's the first one that gets the most value, I think. After that it's debatable. Her first skill doesn't really come up that much, where you sack 2 triggers, either retire one of your opponent's triggers or an entire column if you have the white Thegrea in your zone. I mostly use her just for the recent skill, that's it. The recent skill is essentially just a field to your hand, which is really nice because the deck is really tanky, and getting like bad pieces or the pieces you want to drop some to recur is really nice to for this to have. And for the rest, you just want some white target, so you want to play 4. And then I only play 2 copies of the white Thegrea in my main deck. So as you may see, I actually only play like 6 persona white targets and 1 card for the white line. But actually this is enough in my opinion, because after you go into the black Thegrea, you want to go back into the white Thegrea, but you can also get stuff from your soul back to your hand. So that's why, because you already have the white Thegrea in your soul, you already have it like sort of established that you can get it on your second persona item. So you don't really actually need to run more, so you can play more good pieces in your deck. The thing is with this deck, the white line already breaks on grade piece because the grade 1 like essentially wants you to call grade 2 or lower, and the white Thegrea that you will be going into first, like you want to call grade 2 or lower, so getting more grade 3s into the top 5 is really good to have. Nonetheless, we actually play 2 additional grade 3s. These are really nice. These are just boosters when you have persona white, and because you will be persona whiting every single turn, this is actually major. Also, it re-stands with the attacker. So let's say for example you have a front row unit and that restood, Vanguard restood, this also restoods with it. Makes it that columns actually hit for hard. Makes it so your numbers are appropriate. But these are grade 3, so you don't really want to win too much. But I think just running is really nice to have. It increases your killing potential for your deck. And then we go over the third most important card of this deck, actually Maple. Maple is a really amazing card. I really like her design, everything around it. And essentially what she says is like, at the end of the battle that you soul blasted, you can add the grade to the amount you soul blasted back to you. Now, let me explain that one. Let's for example you soul blasted out the grade 2 or 1, you can add a grade 3 from your soul. So let's for example you're having a persona white turn, of course with the black Thegrea. At that moment of time you have the white Thegrea already soul. So what you can do of course is soul blast the grade 2 and 1 from the white line to get this to hand, so you have your Thegrea to your hand, so you can persona white the next turn and do that thing over and over again. That's one iteration what you can do. You can also do lots of different stuff, because you will be having a grade 0 in your soul because of your white line, and also grade 1. If you manage to send PGs or like good shield value grade 0s to your soul, you can also get these to your hand, back to your hand. The only downside to Maple skill is that it goes into soul. That is actually bad for a second effect, which I'll go over in a second. But if you send PGs to your soul or grade 0s, you can actually like recur them to your hand, and that's really nice because you essentially can reuse multiple PGs or have a very big defense friend. This card essentially makes it so you are super tanky in the late stage of the game. What I said about she puts herself into soul is really bad, because her other skill is when your Vanguard is placed in your right phase, you can call herself to the bigger circle as long as you don't have a field yet. So usually you want to clear your field with Maples, so that's pretty okay. And that's how you get value out of this card. But if she is in the zone, she's not in the drop zone, so that means she can be recurred, of course. That's why you play multiple copies, so you can work around that. Because you want to play multiple copies because you want to see it ASAP. But also you will be having soul blast cost. Really make that downside, not the downside anymore. And then we of course have Pinning Angel. This card is amazing. I have stated multiple times, like against friends and stuff like that, and the Sanctuary revolves all around grade 3s. Grade 2s and below are really fucking shit. But this card is really amazing for like multiple decks. What he essentially says is put a card from your drop zone into the zone, and then check the top 3. You make go on cards with the same card name, like from the top 3 that you put in the zone. So what you can do is like put the PG into your zone, what I said earlier. You don't search the PG from the top deck. You can of course if you want boosters, like do. And after you do that, of course, you can add the PG back to your soul because you have to place one the white from the soul blast. That's really the thing what you can do mainly. Also grade 0s, but you can also, like for the third line of is put a grade 3 Thegrea that you discard for your white deck into drops, like it's in the drop zone, and then you put it into the soul. Then you have this Thegrea. This Thegrea skill is like sort of enhanced because they both work around the fact if you have the other one into the zone, their first skill essentially that isn't personalized is enhanced. So this card can call 2 cards from the top 5 out of your deck. They need to be grade 2 or less still. This one doesn't really matter, but what you can also do is like in the early stages, discard this Thegrea, put into some Drilling Angel so you have an enhanced like an enhanced skill of the first Thegrea. I don't do that often because I like powering my hand size and empowering like just sheer defense far more than getting a +1 out of an effect. Because the thing is, you will be recurring Maples Record Circle. The one way Record Circle is mostly built. You will be calling this card from your hand, so that it's also filled. Then you need to hope to get 2 weight 1 or lower to the Record Circles, and that's really hard to do. Like 1 is doable, 2 is really hard for in the early game when you haven't filled it like sponge. So and because this deck really plays a lot of grade 2s, that's like it's just a problem. So I don't really use that skill often. I can do it, of course. I did it during the tournament, but it's just like you really need to be patient. Then we play Arden. It's a grade 2. It gives protection to the anti-foot when he's in the front row, and when you personalize it, when he attacks, he gains 5k. He's alright, but like grade 2 and Gathering Sanctuary are super bad in my opinion. This is the best replacement you can have. Slot. Really want to replace this with something useful, fortunately we don't. I know people say that you have a grade 2 that says when your finger is placed, gains 5k, and that actually works of course, but in the early game when you're rushing so hard, your opponent will mostly retire your stuff, but you don't will intercept with it because you will be getting the plus rear guard of course from your Thegrea. So you really want to empty your front circles every single turn, so it doesn't really go for me. So this is the best choice we have. This is just like what I play. It's really good against Prism, or yeah, I guess Prism match. Of course, that's flow. Except Starlight, I think. But that's it. And then we of course play 4 Painkiller Angel. This is a really nice combo with of course Maple. Because what you can do actually is you use her skill first. So let's say for example, this is a column actually. So this is a column which I will be attacking with. You will be using Maple skill first, put it into the Son, then you put Painkiller skill, and Son bless this something like that, and then draw a card. So you go +2 on this entire column, which is a very good skill in my opinion. Makes it so your hand sizes will increase every single turn. And also the fun thing is, you will be only decreasing your deck size 1, which is important because since you're persona winding so much, deck filling your deck with grade 2 or less, you will be going through your deck really fast. Then we go over my grade 1 deck options. So we have these 2. Let me explain why I play one-offs of these. So the reason why I play this is one-off is because her skill states when something is stand in the same column as her, you can bounce her to hand. So it's a really good card against the Prism matchup, because when they prison something from your hand, you can just prison this, call it back by a counter with a Sword Blast, and restand something in the same column and bounces the hand. And do that every single turn, and so the -1 from hand isn't painful. Then again, why I don't read more copies of it, it's because of the fact you can only resolve her once per turn essentially, because this deck doesn't restand multiple cards at a time. And he will restand one unit, either it's your Vanguard or it's your rear guard. So that means even if you have multiples on field, they don't really work with each other. And you have Prescription Angel. Prescription Angel really helped me during the tournament so many times. So what you can do is like get stuff that you want, of course, from your damage zone to your drop zone by guarding. So people that don't know what his skill is, he says when your Vanguard is attacked, you can retire yourself from a counter with, put a card from your damage zone that's face up to the Guardian Circle, and then put a card from your top deck to face up damage zone. So it's essentially you guard with something from the Guardians or from your damage zone to your Guardian Circle, and then take a damage. First of all, she allows to use PGs from your damage zone. That's already really nice. And it's also the fact that let's say for example you have Maple stuck in your damage zone, you really want to make the drop zone, you can also do that. And also for the fact you can really rush with it early game, put it behind the rear guard, and then guard with it later essentially. And it's just a really nice stack option that I really like. But also the thing, you don't want to play hard multiples. The reason for it is you need to counter blast, and you then need to call face-up card from your damage zone. That means you need to have 2 CB open. This deck doesn't really want to like take too much damage in the early game because it's a really high tempo deck. You want the tempo in your side, so you want to like be as low damage as possible. If you also want to use a counter blast for your Thegrea the next turn, it means you need to have 3 counter blasts. So you don't really want to have damage counter blast. Let's say for example you have a second one of this. That means that like you need to have counter blast face up to use the counter blast skill, of course. Call the top card face up, and that one will be face up once again because the top card of your damage for your deck will be going in damage. So that counter blast you can use for Thegrea, of course. And then you need an additional counter blast, of course, prescription angel to use again if you want multiples. So it doesn't really work again. And also for the fact in the early game you don't really have much of a choice what you want to counter blast, because you usually will be on 1 or 2. If you have 2 bad cards in your damage zone that you don't want to call out, then you choose one of the other. If you get then again a good card in your damage zone, let's say for example PG or trigger or something like that, you can call that, and then you need to look after your second card, or like the card that will be going from the top deck into the damage zone will be a good card again, guard again. So it has multiple options, it has multiple implications. It saved me a lot of times against stuff like a video matchup, carry matchup, stuff like that. Because let's say for example against a carry matchup, if you want a 20k shield, you can just grab the front from your damage zone, put it on the Guardian Circle for 1 card, of course. It's really nice to have that way. It's an old promo, it was at the beginning of the D series, so funny enough, when I went to the locals I also got Thegrea. I already had this card at 1, I really wanted to have more copies, so I went to Ian because that's my locals, or like sort of locals from Ian TCG. They just gave out the packs during the tournament, and then I pulled this and I was like, okay, super happy that I got it. I tagged them into my deck, so I just had multiple options when I really wanted it. But yeah, 2 copies and then 1 of each, fine for me. These are essentially my 6 great ones with Painkiller Angel included, of course. I really want to have that ratio, so I at least want to play 6 great ones because that felt me. Then of course we have the 4 PGs, nothing really standard, like exceptional. Then we have the 4 criticals, actually come up more often than you think, because in this deck you can like boost your maple with it and then bounce this critical back to hand, because you will be having a grade 0 in your goal, of course, already from your line. Also for the fact that 2k cam melee is so you can also do that. Then we of course play multiple criticals, because this deck really wants to like don't drag out too long into late game, because you will be having deck out issues. Then 3 fronts, this is really against the carry matchup and stuff like that. Like 20k cards are really useful, and draws decks is like too much, because it's not a deck that you will be killing on your first grade 3 turn, not on your second grade 3 turn, but most of the time later, so you really want to like go into that. And then of course I play these heals. So many people ask me why I play these heals, and I really like them for the data. So what I essentially think about this is like Kyrie matchup, you don't really like. I think Kyrie and Graffiti are the best decks in the format, and which I was the most scared about. You also have like other like good decks in the format, of course, but Graffiti and Kyrie was the decks that I was most scared about. The Kyrie matchup you don't really like. You can really tag in most cards to like improve the matchup. Like if you would play 15k heals, would that improve the matchup? Yes, a little bit, but not all that much. If you play this against Graffiti, though, it decreases the matchup tremendous amount of times. I played against, for example, Captain Joe, and put just these 2 on the Guardian Circle. Was 63 already because Graffiti was 28 on run because of her skill, 38 because of Chronowide. What then happens, it's like he did the 5 meteor play, it was still a 2 to pass. I put 2 Guardians on the Guardian Circle and guarded for 63. It was so tremendously huge, with PG for the other one, and it was like, okay, good luck right now. Like, get 2 triggers, if you get that okay, you still need to put everything in your finger. So really I really like this helped me during the tournament a lot, also against Nirvana, where they used the grade 3 that cancels critical. I just put this down, made for an alright number because I can just intercept it, and it was okay. Also There were multiple matchups. I don't remember all of them, but these came up a lot of times. Really like them for that, and it just saved my ass too many times. And then for last, I played the Experimental Overtrigger. Many people also ask me this. Can I say everyone can deck you out multiple times? I don't want it to happen. Also, this has a higher payoff because you don't really want a bunch of points that you want. So that's really it for my deck profile. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Comment down below if you have any questions, of course. See you guys later. Goodbye.